This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. Now imagine this for a second. You create the life you want. You're loving life. It's exactly the way you envision it to be. You feel fulfilled. You enjoy just doing many different things. Even just taking a walk in nature just feels amazing. It's like walking on a cloud. Sounds perfect to me. How do you do that? You tap into your inner wisdom. You go within. How do you do that? What is this inner wisdom? We're going to learn more about that today. And she offers lots of spiritual guidance and so much more, giving you direction in all of this. And I know it's a little woo, so we're going to break that down for you. But many have said it is the answer to a wonderful life. Ruth Wilson joins us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you. And I think the more I tap into my inner wisdom, the better I do. And there are lots of really good reasons to back up what you say. And I would say far from being woo, it's who we are as human beings.
There's some science to back it up in some ways as well. So I want to throw that in there for anybody who thinks that, these two people on their podcast are a little crazy. No, we're not. And many have experienced the connection to the inner wisdom. Let's go there. Let's start with just the basics. How do you define inner wisdom?
You have to know what to look for. Inner wisdom is there all the time. We all have it. We all use it. But it isn't shouting in your ear. It isn't getting in your face. Not the way your intellect is, not the way your intuition, you can feel it in your gut, not the way your body talks to you. Even your subconscious gives you a lot of messages about what you should be careful of. The inner wisdom, some people refer to it as the superconscious, is the part of you that's magic, really. It's the part of you that's divine. And we were all created to create. And most of us didn't learn how to create. Some of us know how by accident. Some of us don't know how. And when you learn to use this part of your intelligence, you can start creating what you want. Otherwise, a lot of people walk around the planet feeling like there's maybe something wrong with me. I have problems with relationships. I have problems with working in a job. I have problems with this, that, or the other thing because they're not creating quite what they want. They've learned how to react to everything that's going on, but we don't learn how to create what we want to have go on. Maybe I don't want to have a job at all. Maybe I want to work for myself. Maybe I have a totally different view of what the perfect world would be, and I can create it. But most of us are taught, you can't have that. No, you can't have that. Especially in school. No, somebody with your background, you can't do that. And the truth is, when you know what you want to create, you can create any darn thing you want to. And you were designed to. And that's your inner divinity. The trouble with the superconscious, though, is it isn't really super available to our conscious awareness. But we've all seen it happen when you have intuitions that are true, when you know what's going to happen, when you have a dream that occurs the next day or the next week, anything like that. When some illness magically heals, and the doctor says, "Oh, we must have read that wrong. Maybe you didn't have that, but you know perfectly well that you healed." That's the super consciousness working. When you feel connected to the divine, when you understand that you are, you have that mystical understanding that you are divine yourself.
How do you know the difference, Ruth, between your intuition, gut feeling, and the inner wisdom.
The inner wisdom is very neutral. Um,
Hmm.
it's it doesn't scare you the way gut feeling can do, um, and it's easy for you. I should say easy for one, easy for us to misunderstand what we're learning with the inner wisdom. And this is a hard thing to explain, and it's a hard thing to experience. So I'm kind of looking around for the right words to make it clear to people. The superconscious will guide you to things that you really want, but it's guiding you to something wonderful and new. And the trouble with wonderful and new is it doesn't always feel really good. You
Hmm.
think it will, I'm going to win the lotto and everything's going to be great. And then you win the lotto and it's scary as all get out, or you don't quite know what to do, or, you know, and it's usually not about winning the lotto. It's about finding your soulmate or something like that. But that can be plenty scary too.
Sure. Well,
And
you know what?
so
All of the things you describe are change,
they are big change.
we're wired to not really like change, as I understand it. It's because we always want to stay safe
Hmm.
and keep doing the same thing because that's safe. That's not always the best thing for you, but it's comfortable. So we stay there. Even when 90% of the people I hear, and these studies have been done quite a few times, 90% that win the lottery, tons of money, they lose it right away or in a short period of time, and they wish they never did come into contact with that money. It didn't change their lives in the way they thought it would.
Yes, that's
We
right.
think we know what we want, but I guess the universe knows better.
Well, I think we do know what we want. We just don't always know how to handle it. And that's only part of the problem. The other thing is that you've been trained from very, very young childhood to believe that you probably can't have it or don't deserve it or can't hold on to it or are too irresponsible or whatever stories you were told. And we have to learn to deal with that resistance that says, "Oh, wait a minute, no, not me, not me." And we get into this self-improvement hamster wheel where we have to get better and better and better, and you don't really need to improve. You just need to sort of set the baggage aside and deal with the discomfort and learn to deal with your energy so that you don't have all that resistance and let it
Mm.
unfold as it unfolds. If you wait till you're perfect to have what you want, you'll be even older than me. And that's probably my story. I've walked around for years thinking, if I could just get over this feeling I have, if I could just be more confident, if I could just talk to people differently, if
We all
only, if
do it.
only.
We all do it. It's
Yes, we
the same.
do.
It's like the blanks in the sentence at Mad Libs back in the day, where it's like, if I could just, I'd be this, or if I could find blank, I'd be that. It's we all do it. That we create these conditions for ourselves. But I really believe a lot of that's based on what you said, what we could say we learned it, but it's really in our subconscious from our childhood, and we pilot through that. Again, it's trying to keep us safe. It's actually holding us back, though, essentially, as adults.
Well, there's another side to that coin too, which I mean, we could really go down the rabbit hole here, but some of that wounding from early childhood is our magic too. Um, some of my feeling, left out from being the youngest child has also made me very, very empathic, has made me a lot kinder than I might have been otherwise, has helped me reach out to other people. So there's that part of it. And there's also the fact that when you get involved with your superconscious, it doesn't guide you to some cockamamie business that isn't for you. It guides you to something that really is pretty well suited to you. So even though it feels uncomfortable in some ways to succeed in this way, in some ways it feels like, oh gosh, I'm in the right place. This is
Hmm.
a perfect fit for me. This is what I always wanted and I didn't even know it.
It's kind of scary thinking that, because how do you know it's the your inner wisdom saying, because of course, we're fighting it. Oh, it's change. It's uncomfortable, but it could be the answer to change your life, but you don't take advantage of it because you're not sure. You don't know it's actually your inner wisdom speaking, your higher self, maybe your higher purpose. How do you know? How do you know?
I think probably the easiest way to know is just to learn how to tap into your intuition.
Okay. All
There
right.
it is. And
Mm.
you might get some wrong guidance once in a while. But it usually won't be very wrong. Oh, I tried that. That wasn't quite it. But usually it, your intuition will take you pretty close to where you want to be.
So I want to validate what you said a moment ago, and it was just a little over a year ago that I got a phone call and I was told I had stage 3 cancer. And I was like, what? And I remember the call, 5:06 p.m. And my intuition said, no. And I'm sitting there on the phone, like, just like going along with it. And it's saying, no, no, it doesn't sound right. This does, all right, whatever you say, but it doesn't sound right. Hang up the phone. Phone rings again. Skin cancer, by the way. Phone rings again. Same doctor. He goes, yeah, I forgot to tell you. I think you also have something on your left shin. We see a flare up from the tests there, and that looks like it's also a very strong area of concern. So we got to take action. Blah 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 blah. I was like, hang up the phone. I'm like, that looks like a damn pimple. I'm not. I'm not buying it. I don't know. And of course, I did go down a rabbit hole. Like, oh my gosh, what is this? But in short time after processing it, I'm like, no, this is not it. No. And I want to say the universe supports. My mom had the same type of cancer, and the doctor that she had wasn't in my health system. But then I found out he just became part of my health plan.
Just for you.
Kind of felt that way, Ruth. So had an appointment with him. He's like, you don't have stage 3. I'm like, all right, well, scale of 1 to 10, it being stage 3. What do you got? He goes, less than a 1. He goes, don't worry about it. Go to this test, get this scan, blah, blah, blah. And he was right. Did the surgery, removed, the surface level
Great.
skin cancer, done. But it was the knowing. Like I wasn't having it. I don't know what it was. I can't describe it, but it was a certain feeling. I don't know if that was a higher self intuition, but I couldn't ignore it, and that's why I kept going and found the other doctor.
Beautiful.
What do you think?
Beautiful.
Would that have been intuition?
Yeah, you knew that wasn't right.
I kind of did.
Got something, but I don't think it's that.
Right,
You didn't
right.
ignore it. You didn't blow it off, but
Nope.
didn't you didn't swallow it whole either because you
No.
knew. And I think in this world, given the healthcare system, given the polarity in our world, given the chaos in our world, given the war in our world,
Mm.
we need our power. And that was your power talking. That was not giving your power away to somebody else.
You know, that's an interesting thing you say there because we talk about higher power. Um, I don't equate I don't look at it with the word power there. You say the word power, but I'm not connecting it. But yes, you're right. We have power. We really do. We don't realize it though.
No, and it's the important kind of power, not the kind of power that allows me to tell you what to do. It's the kind of power that allows me to tell me what to do,
Yeah.
or allows me to hear what to do, and allows me to connect to a higher power depending on how I see that power.
Do you have things in your life that stand out where it might have been your inner wisdom telling you to, make a change or do something different?
Oh, yeah, lots of things. Nothing quite as nicely dramatic as your story, but A lot of things. I mean, I was walking down the street in downtown Detroit one winter day, and I heard my mother, who was not there, say, "Move, jump." And so I jumped into the street, and a huge chunk of ice, maybe that big, fell off a roof onto the sidewalk where I'd been.
That's not
So
dramatic. Hello.
I guess it was pretty dramatic at the time. It was a long time ago, but yeah,
Oh,
I've had things like that happen. And I've been to various healthcare providers too, where I just knew that what I was being told was not working for me.
hmm.
That diet does not feel good. Gosh, it feels like my blood sugar is going up, not down when I eat that. That kind of thing is what I've experienced more recently, probably.
Do you feel that our purpose here is uh, to create and learn and teach?
I'm sure of it. I'm sure we're here to learn based on how complicated and difficult this planet can be. What else could it be? Um, but I think there's another little piece of it, which is we're here to love. I think I do see the creator and our most inner being as being love, and that's what creates. And I think we're here to provide that to each other and express that for ourselves. And so, yes, teaching, learning, loving,
Hmm.
helping each other.
What would your advice be to somebody to start tapping into that inner wisdom? Like starting point.
Oh, easy, easy. My best advice is to find a way that you individual like to get quiet and get out of your head. So, if I have a client who loves to meditate in the Zen fashion, go do that. That's what's easy for you. It's not easy for a lot of people, so I have them do something like heart math that gets them into the heart center, which has more power and more peace and more power than the brain, and is a good place to start and get in touch with things that are not your intellect saying maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe these are the winning lotto numbers. No, your intellect doesn't know that stuff.
Now, you've mentioned heart math before, and I've heard of
Hmm.
it before, but I couldn't define it. If somebody asked me, Steve, explain what heart math is, I wouldn't be able to. Can you basically tell us what that is?
It's a really lovely modality that uses the heart's power and taps into the heart's power and and gets the heart and the brain in coherence so they work together. The heart and the brain become incoherent when you're at peace, when you're in flow, and so it's a way of wagging the dog's tail, so to speak, so that you get in peace and in flow. It's very good for the health. It's very good for state of mind. It's really good for being able to see the effects of your inner wisdom.
And when you practice that, it's a one-on-one thing where you work with somebody using heart math.
For me, it is
Okay.
because I use a little piece of it, and I don't want to send people to heart math necessarily. What I would have a client do would be to possibly put their hand on their heart, just bring their consciousness right down to the heart center. The energy coming out of the heart center is 10 times stronger than the energy coming out of your head. So you don't have to do much to get into this center and get aligned with it. And I'll have them do some visualization, like breathe into your heart. That doesn't make any sense, but people can visualize that really easily.
Hmm.
And if you just imagine the breath is coming in and out of your heart, gosh, it's interesting how peaceful you start to feel.
Hmm.
And for me, it's the same feeling I get when I get into a deep meditation, when I get really, really quiet. So that's one of the techniques I'll use. Another technique is to get really, really quiet. Is to imagine that you're trying to breathe so quietly that nobody can hear your breath. And for some reason that works well too, to get people into a state where there's this nice flow. The mind kind of stops yakking so much. And you're able to really connect. You're always connected with your higher self. You're always there. But you're able to feel it, see it, make use of it.
I was doing that before we get on here. I had a short break. I'm not even kidding. And I said, you know what? I need a moment. I need a moment. And took a half hour and just call it meditated, even zoned out for a sec, back and forth, and just, some thoughts, and just drifted in just quiet peace. There's magic in that. But unless you do it, and you finally get to the point where you can quiet it down, you don't know it. You don't realize it. I was talking with a couple of friends the other day, and one of them is going through a challenge. And one of us said to him, "Have you ever sat in silence?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." You've never just been quiet, sat, did nothing, just sit there, think, close your eyes, quiet. He goes, "No." We said, "We're not going to say anything more. We want to help you. You need to do that first." So he says it's been beneficial. He tried it once. We text. It takes practice, though. I'm not going to say it's an easy thing to do, to just quiet things off. We're not talking about going to sleep either. We're just talking about.
No, but it's really worth the practice, and that's where you get to the space where you can use your non-local intelligence. You can say an effective prayer. You can send love to your grandma. You can, find the best answer to your dilemma, whatever it is that's non-local. We have access to all of that, but you're not going to get it when you're chattering in your mind. So getting into that quiet space is really very helpful.
The old phrase, "Can't get out of my own way." It's kind of the same thing, it seems like, within your mind, because your mind is in the way. Like your subconscious is talking. You get the monkey chatter going on there. And I got to believe that's getting in the way of your intuition, your inner wisdom, and the answers that you're asking for.
Yeah, if you want to create, you're not going to create from thinking about all the problems you have. If I think about how people just really don't respond to me really well, they're not going to respond to me very well because that's what I'm thinking. And if I'm thinking about the end result, which is that I really want to make a bunch of new friends in this town, and I'm thinking about what that will be like, then that's what will happen. But I can't control that if I'm up here worrying. I can control that when I'm down in this peace, when my energy is coherent, when I'm able to think about what it is I really want. And sure as shooting, if there's something that I'm good at creating, it's something I'm able to think of the end result and turn off the worry.
Easy for some, not for others. How do we connect with you? It's truth. You have a free course using your inner wisdom as well. What's the starting point to learn more?
The starting point is to visit me online at ruthwilson.org and just nose around my website. I have a lot of information. I have information about how creation works as opposed to reaction and things like that. I have a little class that's super, super easy that lets you develop or use your inner wisdom to solve a problem. And it illustrates all the different aspects of that you need to know. You can also contact me, set up an appointment with me, and find out how I can help you do what you particularly want to do.
Final question. We're out of time, but I need to ask this question. Is a lot of what we're talking about here the creativity? manifestation in some regards?
Yes, but not the way you've been taught.
Press the pause button there, and we will reconvene, and maybe we could talk about that. Start using your superpowers. Ruthwilson.org. Do I have that right?
You do.
Beautiful. Thank you for today. Lots of insight, a lot of validation for me. Looking forward to talking more too.
Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.